¿Qué lo que, mis amigos? Estamos en vivo otra vez, Spanish Livestream número 8, number 8. Muchas gracias por venir. Y como de siempre, tenemos una encuesta. We have a little poll here for which of these cities in the Dominican Republic have you visited? Santo Domingo, Santiago de los Caballeros, one of my favorite cities to say, La Ramona, and Jarabacoa. Oh, Jarabacoa. A lot of city names that me cuestan pronunciar, pero están ahí. So make sure that you answer that poll there. Y también dígame, tell me de dónde eres y también por cuánto tiempo has estudiado español. Where are you from and how long have you been studying Spanish for? Y también el tema de hoy, today we'll be talking about República Dominicana, un país súper lindo y maravilloso, en verdad. Beautiful country. Y también, ¿cómo encontraste este canal? Eso es una pregunta que me encanta preguntar a la gente. Let me know where or like how did you hear about my channel or how did you stumble across it as well. So yo fui a la República Dominicana por la primera vez. I went to Dominican Republic or traveled there for the first time hace un año, en 2019. Oh, en 2021. Hola, ¿qué lo que? Michelle, no sé cómo pronunciarla. I don't know how to pronounce that really good, but is it because you had like the apostrophe there? Michelle, I was gonna say Michelle K, and hopefully that works. Well, make sure you answer the question in the poll there. If you've never been to the Dominican Republic, let me know that as well in the chat. And also, where are you from and how long have you been studying Spanish for? Sí, eso es bien duro, es verdad. Nunca había visto un nombre así. Michelle K. Para mí, yo soy de los Estados Unidos y también yo empecé a estudiar español hace, 13 años más o menos, pero no estudié constantemente. I'm from the US and I started learning Spanish about like 13 years ago, but I haven't been studying constantly. I have a lot of breaks in between, a little bit in high school, a little bit in college for the past 3 years. Por los últimos 3 años he estado por mi cuenta. I've been studying Spanish on my own. So let me know how long y'all have been learning Spanish for as well. Me encanta saber eso. And also let me know if you haven't been to the Dominican Republic, let me know what other countries, other Spanish-speaking countries you have visited. I've only visited 2 thus far. I won't say only, but I'll say I've been to 2 thus far. So it's been quite an amazing experience being able to go to a Spanish-speaking country. Okay, Michelle K. I've never been yet. Never been to the Dominican Republic yet. Vive en PA. You might have to actually write that out because maybe some people don't know where that is. I'm pretty sure that's Pennsylvania. Y he estado aprendiendo español desde 2020. Qué bueno. It has been studying Spanish since 2020. That's awesome. And what made you start learning Spanish, by the way? Por cierto. ¿Por qué decidiste aprender español? Why did you decide to learn Spanish? Hey, yo. Muchas gracias por venir otra vez. Good to see you in the chat again. Thanks for coming. Y déjame saber también si has visto o si has ido a la República Dominicana. I made the crazy decision to go during the pandemic. So that was quite the interesting experience because I went last year and they had el toque de queda. And un toque de queda is a curfew. So there's only so much I could do, honestly. But I decided I was like, I shouldn't wait for like another year or 2. I don't know when this is going to die down. So I decided to go. But it was a lot of work to get over there, to say the least, because of all the restrictions that were going on with other countries. And then yeah, like just trying to get a flight and everything to that country wasn't like super challenging, but the very fact that it could have been canceled for like whatever reason, like that was like had me stressed out. I was so worried that I wasn't going to get there, or I was going to get stranded in like Miami or something, and then having the flight can't get canceled there, because there's like multiple flights that got canceled. Like when I was going over there, my first trip and especially the second trip. Yeah, that's a different story though, for a different live stream. Pero déjame saber para las personas que están entrando acá, déjame saber en la encuesta, which of these cities in the Dominican Republic have you visited? En la República Dominicana is como se dice, is how they say it there, or how you say it in Spanish. La República Dominicana. I love the way that sounds. Have you been to Santo Domingo, Santiago de los Caballeros, La Romana, o Jarabacoa? Very interesting names, if you can't tell. If you haven't been there, let me know what other Spanish-speaking country that you have been to. And this was my first time to the Dominican Republic. First ever visit to a Spanish-speaking country was Mexico in 2019. Then last year in June, end of May, end of May, then beginning of June, I went to La República Dominicana for the first time, and it was absolutely beautiful. Actually, on the flight over there, when I got over the island, hey, fuiste a Punta Cana. Fuiste a Punta Cana. Sí, tienes que ir ahí. Sarita ha ido a Punta Cana. Yo no. Bueno, para decir la verdad, yo no tengo un deseo para irme ahí. I don't have a desire to go to Punta Cana, but Punta Cana is like that's the one like city you have to go to in Dominican Republic. It's just like beautiful resorts and things like that there. Sarita, my first AEO says no me gusta viajar. AEO wants to go and travel. Sarita says my first Spanish country was Tenerife. Also says, see, I went to Hard Rock. Okay. See, I don't know anything about Punta Cana, except for that everybody goes there and that there's a whole bunch of like beautiful resorts. And that's the like one reason why I didn't go there either. Oh, it's a Spanish island. Yeah, see, por eso no tengo ni idea. So like you're teaching me right now, because I've actually have never heard of that island before. Then is that close to like what? Yeah, is that close to Spain, or is that more on? Y también Tenerife is a Spanish island. City is from England. Que bueno. Okay, so it's an island off of the coast of Spain. Okay, bueno saber. Qué interesante. Y dígame sobre su acento ahí también. ¿Cómo fue tu acento? How was their accent? Did they sound like como españoles? Did they sound like the Spaniards, or like was their accent super different? Pero Punta Cana, Castilian, okay. Un acento castellano. O castellano mejor. Okay, bueno. ¿Y por cuánto tiempo estuviste ahí? How long were you there for? And the one reason why I don't want to go to Punta Cana is because when I travel to a Spanish-speaking country, what I don't like to do is stay in my hotel all the time. And if I go to Punta Cana, that's the only thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to leave the resort. I'm not going to leave my hotel. I'm just going to stay there and just like relax and stay at the pool all day. So that's like probably the main reason why I don't want to go to Punta Cana. Like I would go there like if I was going with friends, but if I'm traveling alone, I'm not going to go there. But like you should after this live stream or whenever, like look up Punta Cana. It's absolutely beautiful. I haven't been there. I've only seen pictures. I've heard like really good things about it. It's like probably one of the best tourist attractions, or I guess tourist cities there, besides like como Santo Domingo. I would say, just because like resorts, people love resorts and things like that. So bring your family, all that good stuff. Sarita went with friends and family. Sarita and I met a boy and went back sometimes. Oh snap! You volviste a ir ahí. Qué bueno, qué bueno. qué chulo, qué chulo. Es lo que dirían en la República Dominicana también, qué chulo. Está buenísima, or está buenísima. Man, like the way that the Dominicans speak is incredible. Or like Puerto Ricans too. The first time in my life that I saw apostrophes being used in the Spanish language. Muy rápido, sí, claro. La manera rapidísimo. Maybe like está duro. Oh, déjame ver. Como está duro. Está duro. Está es como, está es está. En la República Dominicana. Sí, como so this says they speak really fast and they hate vowels. Yeah, they kind of do. They cut off the words. They cut off letters. I mean, they cut off letters. They change words completely. Like I have right here, está duro is como estás duro. Pero instead of saying estás, it's just está duro. So that was probably one of the biggest reasons why I couldn't understand anybody there. And I was super embarrassed too, because I spent all of last year, in 2021, I spent all of last year speaking Spanish, like to a lot of Spanish speakers. I got friends from last year. I met people from Mexico and Guatemala in my city. So I was talking with them all the time. I met people from Colombia, from Ecuador. So I was constantly speaking with Spanish speakers, and I got really accustomed to be able to understand them. But then I went to Dominican Republic, and it was like something switched. My brain just completely shut off. I couldn't understand anybody. It was terrible, like it was a good experience, but at the same time, it was just really difficult for me. And I was stressing out because I'm like, I've been learning Spanish for this, for over 3 years, blah blah blah, and I still can't understand anybody. Claro que sí. Ajá, el acento carabeño. Ajá, y también la gente taína o taíno. Caribbean Spanish. So Sarita said it's Caribbean, it's different. Claro que sí, es bien diferente. Y también Sarita dijo taíno influencia. Y taíno es como la gente ahí, como los nativos, the Taino people. The Taino people, like the inhabitants of Hispaniola, is what the island is called, of where Haiti and the Dominican Republic resides. So that's where the natives were before the Spaniards came. So super interesting history there. So like she's like Sarita is saying that there's a lot of influence when it comes to language of the natives there, which you can definitely see because a lot of words that I was looking at that I saw there, I was just like, this is not Spanish whatsoever. Pero claro que sí, qué vaina. Sí, yo también porque, bueno, yo lo tengo escribido en la República Dominicana. It's like, was it the first Spanish colony of the Americas or whatnot? Déjame ver. Yo lo tengo escribido. Algo así. So there's a lot of history there. A lot of like really old like buildings and stuff like that. A lot of statues of like Spaniards and things like that. So it's very interesting. A lot of history, really cool museums. If you like history, then it's definitely a cool place to be. Específicamente Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo es como el centro de todo. It's also one of their bigger cities as well. Santo Domingo, that's where I went. Yeah, Santo Domingo is absolutely amazing. And what was crazy was, claro, yeah, sí, eso también. Christopher Columbus is buried there. See, that's where good old Chris, is buried. Claro, see, and not just him. They have like other Spaniards there that are buried there as well. Like they're in like tombs that you can go and actually like visit. You can't like see their faces or anything like that, but they're like stone slabs, and I guess like they're like in there. So they got some interesting kind of like burials and stuff like that there. So yeah, a lot like Sarita is saying, a lot of rich history there. It was very impressive. And his name in Spanish, for whatever reason, is Cristobal Colon. I'll put that in the chat because I thought this was really funny. I'm like, I would have translated this like a completely different a completely different way. Y claro, claro que sí, como muchos lugares en las Américas. Hay muchas historias de la esclavitud y todo eso, por todos lados. Por acá, como por esta parte del mundo, un montón. A lot of history in the past 500 years. So yeah, that's his name. Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon. For whatever reason, that's his name in Spanish. So super interesting. And so if you look on the map, I have a map right in front of me. The Dominican Republic, well, sorry, the island in general, the island of Hispaniola. I just forget the name of it. I think it's Hispaniola, algo así. The island of where Dominican Republic and Haiti resides right now, it looks very small on the map, right? But it's not. The island's really not that small. So when I was flying there, yeah, okay, sí, claro. The island is called Hispaniola. So when I was flying over there, I thought, and then I saw the island. I thought I was going to see the end of the island, right? But I didn't see the island. It just kept on going. And then even until I landed, and cuando aterrizamos, I todavía, como solamente yo vi la tierra, y todo eso. So like the only thing that I saw was land when we were flying in. I didn't even see the end of the island. So I was like, oh, this island's like a lot bigger than I thought it was. I thought it was like very, very tiny, and you could like, travel in a day or whatnot, but it was quite big. So I mean, just like kind of from perspective, looking at a map. Type of terrain, claro. So that was like probably my biggest, or not my biggest surprise, but like the first surprise when I was flying over there. Sarita says they have a very type of terrain and mountains for days in northern part through Haiti. Yeah, I don't think I've been that part. I flew in directly into Santo Domingo. Well, I flew from Miami, right? So I guess yeah, I would have flown probably over Haiti. Yeah. So yeah, that's also like an interesting dynamic as well, because you have like two countries on an island, and the countries are fairly different. Surprisingly enough, like the government and everything like there, the government, the economy, the people as well. Is really the culture is really interesting, and of course the language as well. And claro, como en la República Dominicana tienes como unas palabras como tayanos o tayanos, algo así, palabras de las indígenas, de Taino, I'm trying to speak in English right now, from the Taino people, and then in Haiti, como la misma cosita, de la gente Taino, so from the Taino people, but then also with French, because there's a French colony. So also very interesting history as well on this like one small island. A lot of stuff. So also like when I was there, I met a decent amount of Haitianos también. I met a decent amount of Haitians there too. So that was really interesting. Kind of to learn more about their culture, about Haiti's culture while I was in the Dominican Republic, and then also to hear the way that they speak, because they speak French, and then they speak French Creole, and like some of the guys that I've met and the ladies that I've met, they speak, let's see, 3 different languages. So they speak English, they speak Spanish, they speak four languages. A lot of them, they would speak French, they would speak English, they would speak Spanish, and then also French Creole. So I got a good little introductory to that. And yeah, definitely I don't understand any French or French Creole. But yeah, it's also really interesting. Oh, okay, cool. We got one vote now. We have one person who's been to Santo Domingo. Who has been to Santo Domingo here? Santo Domingo. And then another shock that I had was right when I got to the airport in the Dominican Republic. I tried to get an Uber, and I was confused on where I should ask the Uber to come, because there was like 2 different levels. So that I went up to a security guard, and I was asking him, and I felt like a little baby because I couldn't understand him at all. So I was just like pointing And I was saying like simple words like transportación, Uber. I couldn't have like an actual like sentence come out of my mouth. It was hilarious. Ah, tutor to iTalki is there. Ah, okay, excelente. I've been thinking about getting iTalki tutor as well from Dominican Republic because like I haven't practiced my Dominican accent for like, well, I mean I kind of practice it, but I don't use it that much. He's also the voice on The Voice Dominicana. I have never watched. I didn't even know that the Dominicans had a voice, like a voice TV show. I had no idea. Wow. It's bad. It's bad porque porque está malo. ¿Qué le pasa? Watch it on the. Okay. See, I'll check it out. But you can see the performances on YouTube. Okay, está bueno. Está duro. Me encanta eso. Oh yeah, so yeah, that was kind of difficult. Being at the airport, not being able to communicate with anybody, really embarrassing. Mostly embarrassing. I went there very confident in my abilities, but yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, to say the least. I thought I was going to be able to have like full on conversations with people, without having any issues, and that's not really what happened. So, but that's fine because it's a learning experience. You don't know what you don't know, basically. And then my hotel, there's some very inexpensive hotels. Yeah, see, yo fui solo, solito. Yeah, I went solo. I like solo traveling. Only done it 3 times, but solo traveling I like to do because it's very difficult to plan vacations, especially the different countries, with friends. At least for me, I think other people they can do it fairly easily, but for me, it's always been really difficult. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go. I'd rather go alone, so I don't have to like coordinate with so many people, especially if they don't speak Spanish. Sarita, I did it once, and I hadn't been learning Spanish for more than a couple months. Are you saying like when you visited there? And yeah, my hotel was only $25. $25 por mi alojamiento, por mi hotel. Casa Naimi en Santo Domingo. Fue buenísimo, en verdad. ¿Verdad? And $25, I don't know if there's even like a $25 hotel, like I mean a night hotel in the US. It would have to be extremely, extremely crappy, like beyond crappy for probably like to be there. Yeah, you can rent Airbnbs. So when I went last year, I didn't know anything about Airbnbs at all. So I was very ignorant when it came to Airbnbs. And did I look for? The first time I didn't stay in an Airbnb, but the second time I went to DR, I did. I rented out an Airbnb. So I'll definitely check those out. But like the big issue for me with getting an Airbnb is you have to put a lot of trust in that other person, and that's something that I didn't really want to do. And by trust, I mean trust that when you get there, that they're going to be waiting for you, that they're going to open the door for you, they're not going to be late, transportation, and all that. But with a hotel, you don't really have to worry about that. You just go and you check in. That's probably like, come on, see, that's like the biggest thing for me. You have watchmen. I don't know what is watchman. A guard. Oh, okay. Citizen says, well, you can rent Airbnbs there that are like mansions for so little. Yeah, es como muy económico ahí. I mean, como si estás visitando de los Estados Unidos, vas a ver como la diferencia entre los precios y las economías son bastante diferentes. The prices are very different. I can't say for like other countries, but I know for like if you're coming from the U.S. and you go to the DR, you're gonna see like prices, a lot cheaper for transportation too. Como un motoconcho, a motoconcho is beyond cheap. Motoconcho, a concho, guagua, la guagua. Okay, what's scary? See, la República Dominicana is different. It was definitely a culture shock for me when I went there. Everything is different. And yes, riding on a sí, montando un motoconcho is is being aterridor. I've never been on a guagua. I've never been on a guagua, and the reason for that is because it was well again during I don't know, I can't even remember, but I didn't take any guaguas when I was there. That's all I know, because I didn't want to be. I knew I was going to be able to to have a conversation with people there. I'd have a conversation like with the bus driver, so I didn't have any desire to even go that route. I was like, all right, ask them how much money do I need to pay, como cuánto te debo, and they're gonna be like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nah, man, I don't know what you say. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk, or I'm gonna like take a motoconcho, algo así. And I can't do no wawa. Driver's licenses are optional there. Yes, basically everything is optional in DR. Like everything goes in DR. That's like what a lot of my friends say. Like all my friends from like there, they tell me like, oh, when I first went there too, is like, DR is crazy. Number one, DR is crazy, and yeah, like anything goes in DR. Like same thing with like real estate. From what I remember, to be a real estate agent in the U.S. is like very strict. We have so much regulation, a lot of regulation and things like that. You need licenses, and the DR, you don't need none of that. You can just be a real estate agent just because you want to. Make a website, get a business card, and you're a real estate agent. So like that kind of difference, it's insane. And then si their licenses are optional. Sarita, they have Grubhub or like food delivery in Santo Domingo. I never used that. Sarita in the DR, it is a civil contract, no protection. Yeah, the laws there are different. One law I do really enjoy the Dominican Republic is, or actually the lack of laws, is that I can move there right now and I don't have to be a resident of the Dominican Republic, unless they change that. But from what I remember, yeah, I don't have to be a resident of the DR. But basically, depending on how long that you stay in the DR, if you're living there for whatnot, you're gonna have to pay like when you leave, basically, which is, I mean, depending on how much you want to pay for it. So I was definitely thinking about moving to Dominican Republic. I was like, man, I don't need anything. All I need is a job, and all I need is a place to stay, and I can live there. And I was like, oh, I would love to live in DR. But that's a different topic too, though. Claro, the entire economy is tourism. Yeah, one thing I really found interesting when I was there is like the difference. I mean, I guess you see it. I can see it here in my country too, but they're just different. Um, like like they have like some rich places, like richer, more modern places, like they have more modern malls and things like that. But then other places, it's like almost like you're transporting back in time almost, and it's just like kind of like you see like in a movie or something like that. Like everywhere is super crowded with people. Everybody's walking around, and then you have like all of these markets. Where there's a whole bunch of food and clothes and stuff like that. That was pretty like a different perspective for me. It's like how different parts of the city were. Typical Caribbean. Sí, fue diferente. It was como me dio un shock cultural, definitivamente. Oh, have you watched my videos before? And yes, I've mentioned Spanish con salsa in one of my videos before. Ah, qué bueno. Me alegré mucho. Me alegra mucho que veas los videos de mi canal. Joined in 2020. Oh, with Spanish con salsa. Wait, they give out trips. Do they give out trips there? With Spanish con salsa, I didn't know that. Really? Wow, I had no idea. That's wild. I would love to have an interview with the host of the podcast. I would love to have an interview with her because I've watched or I've listened to probably almost every single episode of her podcast. Well, not too much this year, but like all of last year and like the year before, I listened to like all of her episodes. Oh, de verdad, verdad, no me diga. La conoces, qué bueno. You were a student for 2 years? Oh wow. That's crazy. Qué loco. Eso está duro también. Yeah, I don't really remember what her program. Oh no, I remember like seeing some advertisements from her newsletters, but I never like joined or anything like that. At least, but like 2 years ago, I wasn't really focused on trying to learn Spanish with music. Tamera. Muchas gracias. But now I'm starting to focus a lot more on music, and I'm starting to focus a lot more on dance now because now I actually started to dance like la salsa and bachata. But 2 years ago, I didn't know anything. Actually, yeah, 2 years ago, I didn't know anything about la salsa. I didn't know anything about la bachata tampoco. I definitely wasn't dancing. But now, like everything has changed. Como todo cambió. A verdad. Your last concert was Bad Bunny. Okay. Oh, pre-COVID. Okay. Pero como te dije, como yo fui a la República Dominicana como durante la pandemia, como plena pandemia el año pasado. I went to the Dominican Republic during during the pandemic, and you know their borders were open. Like they weren't rejecting people from coming in. The only thing that you needed was I mean like yeah I think that I'm trying to think. You just needed to like test. You either needed to test, show proof that you got the vaccine, or show proof that you've been tested, like a negative PCR test. And oh man, I was looking at I looked at the prices there. The prices to get a COVID test were mad expensive. So they said because without tourism they don't eat. Yeah, no, it's insane. It was crazy. Like I was like watching the news like a hawk. Verdad. Oh, your friends in DR or their healthcare is free. Yeah, they got a lot of interesting stuff going on there. You want good healthcare, you pay. Okay. Yeah, fue loco en verdad. It was really weird when I went because everything closed at night because they had the toque de queda. They had the curfew, very strict curfew, and everything was closed like by 9 p.m. or something like that. Then you had like a grace period of an hour where you had to be back at home. So it was pretty wild. So I didn't go to any discotecas, but at the same time, I didn't know anything about bachata. I didn't know anything about merengue. I didn't know anything about music there. So I wasn't really interested in going to a discoteca. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you still heard people in the street, of course. Yeah, you definitely still heard people in the street. And then the another thing that was like really weird was that they like cut off alcohol sales past like 6 p.m. Like you couldn't buy alcohol after 6 p.m. in the stores for whatever reason. I don't know like what that was supposed to do, but yeah, that was another like strange thing that like like strange regulation that they had in place during the pandemic. But like these regulations and like these different things, like they were changing all the time. That's why I was so scared when I was there, because I was scared I was going to get trapped there, or not trapped. I was afraid I was going to get stuck there. Unlawful liquor store. Really? That's wild. Yeah, DR is wild. DR is wild. Yeah, definitely no short of a liquor there. That's for sure. Actually, one of my friends from Dominican Republic, literalmente te iba a preguntar sobre la Mama Juana. I just tried Mama Juana like literally 2 weeks ago. My Dominican friend brought it from the Dominican Republic. And yeah, I like it a lot. I liked it. It was good. But I didn't try it when I was there though. I didn't really try any alcohol when I was there. Like the things, like the drinks that I tried out there was, déjame ver, jugo de chinola, a jugo de papaya. And I love the juice there. The juice was really good. Jugo de chinola y jugo de papaya. A jugo de naranja. Lo natural. ¿Cómo así? They don't pay for fruit. What do you mean? They don't pay for fruit. ¿Qué significa eso? Oh, take it from the tree. Sí, te entiendo. Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me to actually move there really is just, the adjustment there. Like you're gonna have to, at least I mean for me, like where I live and things like that, you have to give up some niceties and things like that, or have to like downgrade to like a certain extent, or just like you're living on a, you know yeah, yeah, the power goes out, Wi-Fi goes out, depending on where you live too, you're like where your water comes from, that could be a challenge, not having running water, yeah, electricity, yeah, like, oh man, I feel bad for like some of my friends, because like when they tell me like their lights just be going out just like very frequently and for like a long time, I'm like, man, eso es duro. Tú eres una gringa. Ah, yo soy gringo. Creo que todos somos gringos acá. Yeah, maybe it's hot. It's pretty hot there too. Got that tropical heat, and you got the ocean, so it's very humid there. It's humid there. It's a different kind of heat. I don't know how to explain it. It rains very randomly. Like it'll rain for like a few minutes and it'll stop. That kind of stuff happens too. It's very interesting. Un clima muy interesante, muy extraño. Pero eso pasa ahí. Todo pasa con la temperatura. I didn't have any severe storms while I was there that I can remember. And there wasn't any like severe like storms or nothing like that. I mean, it rained, but like nothing like an umbrella couldn't handle. Sombrilla. Haiti, see, Haiti. Well, yeah. That's the interesting thing too that I learned from my Dominican friends is that I used to think that like Santo Domingo, like or no, I used to think the whole country would get hit by like hurricanes and things like that, right? But that's actually not the case. It could like affect just certain parts of the country, um, and certain parts of the island, and like another part of the island doesn't have like a big effect, or it doesn't have a big effect on the other side of the island. It's really interesting. So yeah, no, that's what really surprised me, because I looking at the map before I went there, I'm like, oh, this place is so small. But when you get there, it's like, oh, it's a lot bigger than you think. And then it's like, oh, it could hit really hard. And, Santo Domingo or Samana. And then, but, not in other places. Samana, I think Samana got hit pretty hard this year. I didn't really track the news too much. But flooding, depending on where you are there, it happens, like very bad flooding. Pero, I don't know. They seem like very strong people, to say the least, for like the living environment. Eso es lo que yo diría. Pico Duarte is the highest mountain in the Caribbean. Really? I like that name too, Duarte. Duarte, I've seen that name a lot. I see that name a lot in like streets, like for street names. And I think street names, and I think maybe even like some plazas también. Unas plazas. Oh, that makes sense. Duarte is a ruler. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of the street names, plazas, yeah, a lot of Spanish names, como de España. And a famous Dominican writer. Oh, did not know that. ¿Cómo sabes tanto? ¿Cómo sabes tanto de la República Dominicana? How did you learn so much about the Dominican Republic? Because I don't know too many people. I don't know too many people that know a lot about the Dominican Republic. The streets of the northern part after letters and numbers, but not in any order. Okay. Oh, por eso. Saliste con los dominicano. Oh, you just like learn everything from that person that you dated then? I mean, you learned a lot. like the knowledge that you have is like people, like I've heard from people who actually like live there, people who are like expats and that I've like talked to. Okay, that I like talk to like on Facebook or like Facebook groups. Like they have a decent amount of knowledge too on the country. Like people who have lived there, people who have been there like 5-6 times, and read a lot. Yeah, that's kind of what I did too. I try to learn as much as I could when I was there. Then also talking with a lot of my Dominican friends. Hello Talk is really good. If you ever used that application before, Hello Talk is really good for. Just talk with any kind of any Spanish speaker from various Spanish speaking countries. I use that a lot before I went there. And then I also used the application after I left too. So Anita says, my tutor is from Santo Domingo, and I won 2 ITALKI challenges with them. Oh, okay, excelente. I've never done an ITALKI challenge before. What was the challenge about? There's one right now. I've gotten an email about it, but I didn't really read it. I don't know. I haven't really looked into the challenge that they have. English with Mr. Enriquez. Un placer verte acá. Muchas gracias por venir, mi amigo, mi hermanito. Estoy súper celoso. me encantaría visitar a la República Dominicana. English with Mr. Enriquez says, Mr. Enrique says, I'm jealous. I love to visit the Dominican Republic. Yes, you should. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. Yes, claro que sí. Beautiful country, beautiful island. Haven't been to every part of it. When are you leaving? I don't know. I have not. I don't have any future plans to go there right now. I went there last year twice. but I don't have any country I'm going to visit anytime soon. I probably won't go for like another few years. I don't know yet. Cielo en la tierra, claro que sí, ya tú sabes. Claro. Cielo en la tierra, which is like heaven on earth. Para traducirla. Ya tú sabes. It was just a big culture shock, and like I would say like even like seeing the people too. Oh, verdad. All you need to say is oye me and dame la luz. Dame la luz. Ya, me encanta esta frase también. O qué sé yo, o qué más dicen ahí, como si dicen cosas como qué sé yo, pero nada, y tú sabes que lo que. También se dice que lo que como dentro de la frase también, no solamente al principio, pero como en la mitad de una frase y también al final de como al final de una frase también, que lo que, que lo que. They say que lo que like so many times in a sentence. It's not just saying hello or like what's up. They say it multiple times in a sentence. That is that is what they do. Eso es la verdad. Eso es la verdad. Oye, man. Sí, oye, oye, oye. Siempre gritan eso en la calle. Oye, oye. ¿Qué significa que lo que? No sabe qué es lo que. Que lo que means just like what's up or like hello. But it means more than that. I don't know how else to explain it in English. Que lo que, pero también vas a decir algo como eso también, eso es como se escribe como por texto, que lo que el que. It's I can't even honestly I can't describe it in English. I really can't. ¿Cómo es exactamente? Eso es como se traduce, eso es como se traduce como literalmente palabra por palabra, pero como en contexto no significa eso. Sí, claro, literalmente. So qué es lo que? It's like saying like it's like what you would say to like a Dominican like the first time you see him. Que lo que? I've heard you hear younger people saying it. You're going to hear older people saying it as well. So I mean, people say it all over the place. So it's a way that people say like hello or like what's up. That's how people greet each other. That como así es como la gente ahí saludan ahí. Que lo que lo que papi. ¿Cómo tú estás? ¿Cómo va todo? ¿Qué hay en nuevo? ¿Qué lo que? But then, so that's like one saludo. That's like one greeting. But then they also say it in the middle of a sentence. They can also say at the end of a sentence. So it's not just a greeting. So I need to ask my friend because I don't know how to actually describe what it means in like the middle and in the end of a sentence. But they also do that as well. They be like, okay, como que lo que papi, como tú estás. Y como empiezo para tener una conversación y después de eso, como yo estoy hablando como así, que lo que. And it's just like they start just saying it rapidly, just like out of the blue. I don't know what it means like after like a greeting, but they say it a lot. Ciudad libre. So yeah. It could just mean if it's in the middle of a sentence, it could just mean like yeah or something like that. Or like what else? Okay, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to describe in English. Like most of the Dominican I know, like Dominican Spanish I know, I learned from Dominicans, so in Spanish. So I don't really know how to actually explain it. Explain it in English is really hard because it's not the same in like it's not the same in English. Señorita, it's like vaina. Vaina es diferente porque creo que es un saludo, ¿verdad? Creo que es un saludo, pero la vaina es otra cosita. Una vaina puede ser como una historia, puede ser un objeto específico o como de cualquier tipo de cosita. La vaina es todo. La vaina es súper importante en la República Dominicana. Sarita says it has so many meanings. What's up? In response, like, what about you? Tu ta. Diccionario Libre es a slang dictionary online. I know more slang than I do Spanish. Exactamente. Sí, me encanta. Por ejemplo, hay una canción, ¿cómo se dice? No, bueno, dentro de una canción, there's a song, it be like, me gusta esta vaina by Anthony Santos. A mí me gusta esta vaina. A mí me gusta esta vaina. Pero básicamente una vaina es cada cosa que ves en la vida. Mi teléfono es una vaina. So I can say to like a Dominican, like, pásame esta vaina ahí. Pass, like, which means like, pass me that thing. Dame una vaina ahí. Dame una vaina. Pásame una vaina. ¿Viste esta vaina ahí? O mira esta cosita. You can say like cosita like as well, like una cosita is a thing or a little thing, and la vaina is kind of similar, but vaina like is like really referring to anything, any object. It could be la vaina could be like an idea as well, like como por qué estás caminando con esta vaina ahí, like why are you walking like this kind of idea? So like la vaina es todo, la vaina es todo en la vida. La vaina loca. Like you'll hear that kind of phrase, la vaina loca, that crazy thing. But yeah, I love la vaina. I love la vaina. Sí, claro, todo es una vaina. Todo es una vaina. And that's what I think that's I feel like my Spanish got a little worse because I wasn't describing anything. Like when I talk about my Dominican friends, I always say vaina instead of like being more descriptive. Mi libro es una vaina. Mi libro es una vaina. Mi computadora es una vaina. Mi camisita es una vaina también. Todo es una vaina ahí. Todo se puede nombrar como una vaina. Mi cámara es una vaina. La ventana es una vaina. Mi carro ahí. Mi colchón, el colchón, mi chepeta es una vaina también. Mi televisor es una vaina. English with Mr. Enriquez. Will you clearly improve your Spanish over time? Yes. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Mucho trabajo y mucho sacrificio. Great work. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been challenging. It's very, very difficult. I mean, you can increase your like your reading skills, your reading skills and your reading skills and your writing skills like fairly simple or very easily, but like speaking and then your listening comprehension, those are really hard. I would say speaking is a little bit more easier because you can practice that like whenever you want, but listening I think is the hardest language skill to achieve. I think hands down, listening blows out every other language skill when it comes to trying to increase because it takes a long time. Like with pronunciation, all I have to do is like practice over and over again. Like I can read my book right now, look at a word, I get to say it over and over again. But with listening, it's a lot more complex. There's a lot more things at play when you're trying to understand what someone's saying. It's very difficult. Verdad. Sarita says, oh, English with Mr. Enrique says de nada. And Sarita says, produces, you're speaking as English. Pronunciation is everything. También says, I can understand Spanish, but I have trouble responding. So yeah, no, for me, I have trouble with both. Speaking, I'm getting better at, but with listening is very difficult. I mean, Dominican Spanish, I don't really understand. Any Spanish speaker that I meet, any new Spanish speaker that I meet is basically like I'm a baby when it comes to listening comprehension. This year, I have met Cubans for the first time. I met a woman from Nicaragua. I met a woman from Costa Rica. I met a woman from Honduras. And every single one of them had an accent that I didn't really understand that well. So it's bien difícil. Sarita, I can understand Spanish, but not English with Mr. Enrique. Yes, it does, but a lot of exposure. You also drastically improve your language skills. Claro que sí, mucha exposure. Yeah, exposure is key. And mucha práctica también. Haríamos un buen equipo, te escucho hablar. Chile, that's hard to understand for me. I don't think I haven't met anybody from Chile before. Who did I meet recently? I met from Nicaragua, Honduras. sí, cubanos, puertorriqueños, their accent for me is difficult to understand. Who was that I meet recently? Argentina's kind of difficult. I mean, really, all of them are. Puerto Rico. They do a lot of Bad Bunny interviews. I mean, at least for him, he mixes in a little English sometimes. I mean, I can understand him fairly well, probably because I always hear him all the time. Puertorriqueño. Sí, they have un estilo bien duro. I like their style of speaking. It kind of sounds like it's. I don't know if it's more similar to. I think it's almost. I don't know if it's more similar to Cuban Spanish, or if it's more similar to Dominican. It's like a combination. I'm like, como todos esos acentos carabeños, como son parecidos, pero también a la vez son muy distintos a la vez. So this is puertorriqueño, is more lyrical to me. También his songs are easier to understand than when he talks in his interviews. He got a thick accent. But yeah, if you, I don't know if anybody has watched like Dominican TV shows or Dominican movies. I mean, cuando escuches como la palabra de la frase de la calle, como el español dominicano real, like real Dominican Spanish, it's absolutely insane the way that they speak. Yeah, like look up some TV shows, or you can even go like on TikTok or Instagram. I mean, those are pretty good too if you trying to find someone who speaks like Dominican Spanish. I mean, YouTube as well. They have it's intense. Like that's what I can say about Dominican Spanish. It's just beyond intense. El Alfa is his accent is pretty wild. Like when he's rapping or whatnot. I mean, like most artists like in Dembow, their accents are pretty thick. But and then also like the amount of slang that Dominicans have, they have a word. They have a word for everything. They have a word for everything. Por ejemplo, no es un carro, no es un coche, es un colchón. Or ¿cómo se dice? No es como, déjame ver. Yo lo tengo escrito. Pero no es un carro. No está cantando. Así no, así es como rap. Concho, como sí, un concho en la República Dominicana es un carro. Y también, yeah, I do know what the word for polo shirt is. It's polo shirt. Polo shirt. And then so carro. So they always when I went to Samaná is in the norte de la isla. It's in the northern part of the island. And when I met a Dominican there, he told me that they say chepeta for car. Chepeta es algo muy raro. Es una cosita muy raro, en verdad. Es una vaina muy rara. Chepeta. Exactamente. Sí, tú sabes todo. Eso también es otra cosita muy dominicana a la vez. Tú sabes todo. Todo. That means todo. Isn't that amazing how they just like cut off everything? Tú sabes todo. Yeah, so chepeta means car. Car. Chepeta. And también para los frijoles, no son frijoles como en México, pero se dicen, ¿qué se dice? ¿Qué se dice en la República Dominicana para referirse a los frijoles? Se dicen habichuelas. Me encanta la forma que digan eso. Habichuela. Okay, English with Mr. Enrique. Well, estar a tiempo para dormir en Holanda. Más o menos. Honestly, it looks more like slang because, like you said, it's a tiempo pa dormir. I mean, you can say pa dormir, pero como pa dormir, but that's like really slang. You should say this to be formal, para dormir. O como es la hora para dormir, es la hora para dormir. Claro, bueno, para dormir, pero pa, sí, como se puede decir como la misma cosita. I mean, like they instead of saying para, they cut this off in I think Dominican Republic and also in Puerto Rico, como para adelante, for para adelante, para atrás, for para atrás. So I mean, you can use it. It's just as you can see, it's very slang and it's different kind of Spanish because they use apostrophes too. Nos vemos. Cuídate, cuídense. Que se vaya con Dios. Thanks for coming. Claro. Yeah, I know it's really funny. Man. Cuídense. Cuídense, manito. Para dormir, para adelante, para atrás. Para siempre. Dice para siempre también. Para siempre, para siempre, para siempre. I think there's a few more. But yeah, that's kind of like the pattern with that, with those types of words. Para adelante, para atrás. Para siempre. O para allá. Para ahí, para allá. Ahí. I don't know how to spell this. Pa, pa ahí, or para ahí, allá. And this is why I couldn't understand them at all. I was like, what are you saying? What are you trying to say to me right now? Pa allá. ¿Dónde está la tienda? ¿Dónde está la tienda? ¿Dónde está para allá? Paul says, hi there, I have a question that is, how long did it take you to learn Spanish? Porque, pues, I'm still learning and I've been learning for about 2 years. Gracias in advance. Well, 2 years, I would say, well, how do I say this? To actually learn it. So, I mean, I learned the basics in school, the basics in school. So I knew how to conjugate a little bit by the time, like, I got out of high school, how to conjugate a little bit. I knew some words and phrases. And then when I got into college about 4 years ago, I started to do a lot more writing and I could read very well. But I couldn't speak at all. And I didn't have any listening comprehension skills. So it's kind of a hard question. Which kind of sucks. But I would say I learned how to speak fluently, I would say in about 2 years. I would say it took me about 2 years to actually become like a fluent Spanish speaker. You can do it a lot faster. For me, it was just I didn't really have any help. I kind of do it all on my own after I graduated college. Because after I graduated college, I didn't know how to speak because I didn't learn how to speak, and that's why I had this channel so I can help y'all with that. So yeah, I would say because in 2020, I actually wasn't even speaking with Spanish speakers in person, during the pandemic and everything. So 2021, the beginning of 2021, well, I'll say in 2020, I wasn't talking with people in person, but I was still texting. I was texting through applications like Hello Talk and then doing some voice memos and things like that. And doing voice memos in 2020. But then the first time I actually had like real conversations in Spanish was the beginning of 2021. So since the beginning of 2021 until right now, until October, I've been basically becoming a fluent Spanish speaker. So I would say it took me about like 2 years, but like more focused speaking for a year and a half, or like a year and, well, I guess a year and 10 months. So that's how long it took for me to become like a fluent Spanish speaker. But for listening comprehension, I would say it has taken me about the same amount of time. But again, like I said again, um, you can do it a lot faster than I did, a lot faster. As good as me. Okay, Paul. Paul. Okay, Sarita says there's a 10,000 hours. I heard that before. But I don't know if I actually agree with it. But I also don't track my hours like that, or I never really track my hours. Cedar said they don't teach language well in the U.S. And not really. I would say they're getting better. If you learn as a child, because now at least in the U.S. we have a lot more immersion programs. So there's a lot more schools dedicated for for children. So like you're learning Spanish like in like elementary school or even like younger, like at 5 and 6 years old. I think those are really good. So they're starting to promote those more. They have a lot more for kids. So I think it's getting better because we're actually you're starting younger. So that hopefully that will help a little bit. But yeah, when it comes, well, I can't really speak about today because I'm not in college. I'm not in high school anymore. But high school and like college, I didn't learn anything in college really, except for how to like read a little bit better and how to write a little bit better. But Paul, C, tell me more about like your level and things like that. Like where are you at? Like how do I ask? What should I ask? Do you read in Spanish? Are you speaking Spanish? Are you speaking with Spanish speakers? Yeah, like tell me a little bit about like what you're studying and how you study. Citizen says in most every other country you learn a language starting in grade school. Yeah, you do. But the thing is, even in other countries, they struggle too. They struggle with learning English, and that's why there's plenty of immigrants that live here, right? That don't speak that either don't speak English very much, or they struggle with English as well. So some people struggle too that move to the U.S. and everything like that. Yeah, because you need English for a lot of different countries to get a well-paying job. Unfortunately, it's like that in a lot of countries where you have to like if you don't learn English, actually I would say to even get an opportunity, like a decent opportunity, like you have to learn English. It's not really a question to get like a decent paying job or go to college or even travel and things like that, which really sucks, unfortunately. Well, that's how it is in este mundo, esta vaina loca. Policy, I learn as I go. I think that's my best method. I am taking courses offline in a place called the Spanish Institute here in Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. And it's Canadense. 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 I think I'm saying that incorrectly. But okay. Si está bueno. All you gotta do is keep practicing mostly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, K does have these a few different uses. But what's going to help you with that is knowing whether it has an accent mark over it or not. So if it has an accent mark over it, you know that it means what. But if it doesn't have an accent over the e, then you know that it means like that. So that's something that's like very helpful. And then yeah, you have to figure out like it can mean that or like then for comparisons. Yeah, so I mean, like with that again, that's all about consumption, and then knowing a little bit about those rules, like that that helps out a lot as well. Say yeah, and again, it's kind of the same thing I was referring to before. With this, yeah, you know by the if it has an accent mark. So accent marks are actually very important. So they're not just important for knowing what it means, but also how to say it. Yo sé versus just say. Acento de Estados Unidos es diferente de inglés en general, claro. Ellie, Ellie, C, and C. But I mean, yeah, yeah. But if you're like, yeah, if you are, I don't know. If you're having like a conversation like over text, like with a Spanish speaker, a lot of times you don't really see like differences a lot of times either. So you gotta be like careful of that. Kind of like where you're consuming from, because like if you're like looking at how people text in Twitter or Facebook or like in Instagram or TikTok, they there's a lot of slang, and they don't like use a lot of punctuation and things like that when people are texting. Texting is completely different. Texting is like very, very short. Everything is cut down even more so. Por ejemplo, K is just like K. It's like that for a K when people text. So that's kind of why I recommend like reading books and things like that, because when you start like having conversations with your Spanish speakers, it's going to be like very informal. Depending on who you're speaking with, I'll say that. Not every single person you meet is going to be like that, but yeah, things are just like shortened up like that. Paul C, you'll say inglés y hablo un poco de español. I will stick with standard Spanish, so then I will know what's going on, because any slang I will come back later, I think. Yeah. I know, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're gonna get some slang anyway, like I mean a little bit, depending who you're talking to. But yeah, definitely, like learn the basics of the language. That's why I have wait, where's my grammar book at? Oh, I thought I had it over here. Maybe not. But like this verb book, like just knowing, you don't have to know like every single detail, but um just having like base knowledge of some of the rules in Spanish is going to help out a lot. Paul C, gracias por venir acá, muchas gracias por compartir, ha sido un placer. Gracias por hasta luego. Sí, hasta luego y cuídate. And yeah, check out the description box of this live stream, and for some Spanish reading resources, Spanish book resources, in case you need them as well. I am learning Castilian Spanish this year a little bit. I've been a little lazy, but I like practicing with the Castilian accent. I think it's really interesting. It's very different. Well, it's not like super different. Mostly like the accent is kind of, if you're not used to the Spanish accent, and then also like the vosotros, different people, yeah, different history, culture, all that good stuff. Food's different. I haven't been to Spain yet, but yeah, everything's fairly different. The names of things too, because I mean, like with Spain, it's like at least like from what I remember, a lot of well, I mean, since the language came from over there, right? So you'll see like a lot of like old Spanish too, which I think is like really interesting. Like what I've seen, like pedir is not like you might see things like pedir is actually pedir, but it's like an old pedir, but it's like an older way of saying it. Pedir. Veo. Oh, y sí, eso es también. So K, A, O, K is K. Oh, sorry. K, K is K también. It's like this. Hold on. Actually, I have one of my friends sent me an explanation of that. Let me. I gotta look. I have on Hello Talk. I always ask these questions on Hello Talk, and I usually get like a whole bunch of answers. So AOO says, veo que hay X cuando leyendo a comentarios en línea, que es sí, sí. Entonces, X es solamente que. But let me look at my message here so I can explain a little bit better what someone has explained to me, what that means. Where's it at? Momentos. Okay, sí, por eso. So yeah, When they use Q, Q just means K. So Q can be K or it can be Q, which is kind of confusing. So K, when Spanish speakers are texting, it could be K or it could be Q, and that's just the way they do things. Por ejemplo, eso es que el y por la el. They have other ways. They have other ways of shortening things as well, but that's like one way. Yeah, as you're going to see all the time. So it's really interesting. Sarita, crecer en Inglaterra yendo a España es como ir a Florida. ¿Pero de dónde? Crecer en Inglaterra yendo a España es como ir a Florida, pero ir a Florida de dónde? Bossy, just before I go, I will answer, Sarita. I would say Latin American, porque I live in Canada, but also Castilian is dying. Dying. Oh, it's fine. Todo bien. Adiós. See me? Oh, Sarita says growing up in England, going to Spain is like going to Florida. Like going to Florida, Pero no entiendo en este contexto. Porque nunca había estado en Florida, entonces yo no tengo ni idea qué está pasando ahí, o de la referencia. ¿A qué se refiere con esto? Yo no sé nada de Florida, yo soy ignorante. Habla para las vacaciones. Entiendo. Yeah, I would like to go to Spain now. I used to never like, I didn't really like Spain or like the accent there, but now I have a stronger desire to go there and also like learn more about the culture there, and try to keep increasing my accent. It's an hour flight. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, because like Europe is so small. It sounds like really fun to live there because I've heard like you can travel by like train, or like in this case like flight to a lot of different European countries like really fast. So it's like really easy to travel. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think it'd be a good experience to go there. Oh yeah, but it's they. So en la sí, por la historia y todo eso, como en la República Dominicana, they like their Spanish is similar to Spain Spanish too in certain ways. So that's why it's like really interesting, because they have Caribbean Spanish, but at the same time they do have a very close tie to like the Spanish way of speaking. For example, they're not going to say como hubiera, they're going to say hubiese, and that's more Spanish, more como de España. So I thought that was super interesting as well. The Spanish in Dominican Republic is just like it's a real mixture, of different people and different countries for sure. There are so many British expats in DR. Yeah, there's a lot of expats there. Because it's a beautiful country. People who wouldn't want to live on a beautiful island like there, right? Tropical island, great food, habichuelas, arroz, la bandera de la República Dominicana, sancocho. Sí, por eso te digo, por eso te dije eso. Pero yo digo eso por la diferencia. I say it for the mangú. El mangú es algo, es una cosa, es una vaina muy rara también. Es un sabor bien distinto, para decir la verdad. No sé cómo te explico. El mangú plátano. Plátano, like el tema de plátano, la vaina de plátano. Trying to learn about plantains, about plátano in Dominican Republic was like extremely confusing to me because it's not banana. It's not banana. Don't get that confused. No te equivoques. No te equivoques. No es banana. Es plátano. Tenemos plátano amarillo, plátano verde, plátano maduro. Todo diferente. El plátano también, como se prepara ahí, es algo, es como un tema muy polémico. Brazilians eat plátano too. Oh, bueno, no necesariamente como los encontró, pero es una mezcla de raíces ahí, por eso me encanta. Es una mezcla de la sangre africano, de la gente taíno y también de español, de la sangre español. Una mezcla de todo. But mango is like so déjame ver. Es plátano verde, yo creo normalmente. So it's like it's like how do I put this? Think of like a mashed potato, and that's what they do with plátano verde, with plantain, with green plantain. So that they'll mash it up. I think I don't know if that I don't know if it's just mashed or if they like boil it or anything like that, but it's just like mashed potato but with plantains. And then they also put carne dentro de eso también. They put a little bit of carne inside of it. So you have plantains with some type of meat. Then you also have cebolla. Then you have that with cebolla y también está acompañado con como queso o como salchicha or salami or algo así. Yeah, it's probably like the weirdest dish I've ever had before. I would have never guessed that you would have a plate with plantains, with with onions, and then also with meat. It's a very weird taste, but it's good. It's good. I don't necessarily like the onions that much. I kind of just don't even ask for the onions, but I can do mango como sin cebolla. Sin cebolla. Sin cebolla está rica, está rica. Plátano. Yo creo que mi plato favorito ahí, este, yo soy africano, yo estoy mirando a plátanos ahora mismo. ¿Te gusta el plátano, verdad? ¿Te gusta el plátano? Brazilians eat plátano también. I didn't know that. If you go to Brazilian steakhouse, churrasco, they give you plantains to cleanse your palate between meats. I didn't know that. I've been to a Brazilian steakhouse, and well, there's one that I don't know if it's really big all over the U.S. I know like they have them in the north and the south. Pero como Fogo de Chao, that place is beyond amazing. All you can eat, Or they got like a salad bar, but then they also have like unlimited meat. It's yeah. But make sure that you go during lunchtime. During lunchtime is a lot cheaper. Dinner times are way more expensive. Well, I don't know about way more expensive. I look at the price again. But yeah, just go during lunchtime. It's a lot cheaper if you decide to go there. If you like a lot of meat, then yeah, go there. Sarita says it reminds me of a British breakfast, Caribbean style. Yeah, I don't know anything about British food. Queso frito, salami, Fried plantains are originally African, I believe. Bueno, sí, hay mucha comida, hay muchos tipos de comida que viene de ahí. Como hay una mezcla, porque sí, hay mucha comida, mucha comida, mucha música y región que vino ¿cómo dice? ¿Cómo se dice? A las Américas. A lot of food, culture, music, religion, came from like Africa and things like that. Super interesting. Como por esa razón, como se puede escuchar en la música, como súper fácilmente. But again, it's a mixture of food, so that's why I love it so much. It's a mixture of culture. I love it. Tostones, yeah, there's one 5 minutes from me in Atlanta. Oh, he was in Atlanta. Okay, Georgia. I actually just made tostones last week. Actually, no, this week. What was it today? Sunday. Oh, it's the Domingo. La semana pasada. So tostones is basically plátano, como plátano verde, and then you como se fríen el plátano y después de esto se aplastan así para que se vea muy como fino y aplastada o aplastado. So I guess they have an actual like a kitchen utensil to actually flatten the plátano. But you know what I used? If you're frying plantains, which you can do after you fry it, all you gotta do is use the bottom of your cup, el fondo de la botella, o una de la botella, lo que sea, una copita, lo que tengas. You can kind of use anything. You could probably use a book if you really wanted to, but it all depends like on the consistency of it and how long that you fry it for. And make sure that you just have to do it like correctly, or it's not going to be like really good. Because I think I made the mistake of trying to make tostones. I try to make tostones, but I try to make it with like banana, and it did not work very well. It was very just like soft and soggy, but it wasn't. Yeah, you have to do it with plátano verde. Por esa razón hay una diferencia en estas categorías de comida. But yeah, to flatten out the plátano, all you gotta do is use the bottom of this, fry it, and then you take it out. Then you just press on it, and it'll flatten out a little bit. Not too much; it won't break, hopefully. And then you put it back in your pan to fry it for like a few more minutes. It's super easy. It doesn't take long. Probably takes maybe like 15 minutes. But I always tell people that make sure that you don't como no se pone el fuego alto. Like don't how do you say it in English? Don't por Dios. Don't put your oven, la estufa. Yeah, like don't turn it up like to high or like like the highest ay Dios, inglés. Yeah. Se me olvidó. El fuego de la estufa no se pone al alto, por favor, para que no se quema. Thank you. Colette Coates. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Pero Colette, muchas gracias por venir. Thanks for coming. Colette Coates, high fire. Thank you. See, I just forget how to say stuff. There's like a different word for it. But yeah, don't put yo sé sí, ahora mismo estoy comiendo name frito. Name, ¿qué es name? Mori sañado. Nunca he probado eso. Tampoco yo no sé qué es eso. Mori sañado. No me suena esa comida. But yeah, don't put things on just like high fire. Yeah, don't do that. To make it cook faster, para que cocine más rápido. No lo hagas, por favor. Vas a quemar la cocina. Has anyone tried sancocho? I've never tried sancocho before. It's a milk orange juice heavily mixed. Oh no, I never heard that before. I think like also for the first time, I started to drink like juice with milk in it. I don't think I've really had that before in the US. I've had like smoothies and stuff. I've had smoothies and stuff, but like with milk, but like not just with like just like juice and then like milk. So that's kind of different. Die sleeping, it sounds like it. Pero es un alcohol, es un alcohol o es un jugo. Claro, cohetes, vas a quemarlos, claro que sí, los totones, vas a quemar todo. Y Colette, dígame, ¿por cuánto tiempo has estudiado español? How long have you been studying Spanish for? Actually, it's a question for everybody who's coming in. How long have you been studying Spanish for? And then also, how did you find my channel? And how long have you been watching videos on my channel for? Me encantaría saber esta respuesta también. Okay, no es alcohol. Yes, AEAO, la patata. No sé en español. After watching a lot of content from Spain, that's probably like the one. That's probably the one Spanish word como la única palabra española que siempre oigo es esto, la patata, la patata. Siempre están hablando sobre la patata. En like como cada frase, en cada conversación, yo siempre escucho a la patata, siempre, siempre, para siempre. La batata. I'm trying to remember. I made a little like dish from Spain. I forgot what it's called though. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was la paella. I forgot what it was called. Was it la paella? No, it wasn't la paella. It was like it's like the. Oh yeah, yeah, okay. So what I made was from Spain was. So it's like a whole bunch of eggs, como no fritos, pero revueltos, huevos revueltos con batata o con papa dulce, con queso, y se ve como un pie. It looks like a pie. And yeah, it's like really thick too. Y con cebolla, por supuesto. No te falta la cebolla. I'm trying to remember what that was called, but yeah, that's a really good like Spanish dish. Okay, I need to figure out what the Spanish dish is called. I forgot. It's something very simple. I think maybe just like la patata con huevos. I thought that was an actual name for it. Oh, okay, no. I think it's una tortilla española. Eso es. Cerritos, we're studying Spanish for 2 años, pero no constante. Cerrito te encontré a través de la noción. Oh, ¿verdad? Like, ¿cómo? Explícame un poco mejor. Como exactamente en una plataforma, en una conversación, por Facebook, por Instagram, ¿cómo qué? ¿Dónde específicamente? Reddit. Oh, qué bueno. Qué bendición para mí. Yeah. Did you actually did you look at my template? Best Notion template. Okay. I like that. I like the one that I created a lot. Because the one I made, like literally is everything that I wish I tracked, everything I wish that I wrote down over the past 2 years, but I didn't do it. So that's why I like it so much. Yo no soy mentiroso, claro que no. No estoy mentiroso. Pero ¿a quién más? Also, let me know, Colette. Me encontré en YouTube, pero ¿hace cuánto tiempo? ¿Cuándo fue el último, o cuándo fue la primera vez que viste uno de mis videos, Colette? ¿Cuándo fue la primera vez? And then also, make sure that you answer the question in the poll as well. Which of these cities in the Dominican Republic have you visited? Santo Domingo, el centro de todo, Santiago de los Caballeros, La Romana, or Jarabacoa. That's my favorite word. That's my favorite city to say, I think. Jarabacoa. Because it sounds like barbacoa. If you haven't been to the Dominican Republic, let me know that as well in the chat. Una semana. Ah, okay, excelente. Una semana. And what do you think so far? What do y'all think so far of this channel? You think the videos are helpful, not helpful, horrible, horribles, se pueden ser mejor? I actually just recorded a few videos actually this weekend, so I have some new ones coming out. Ah, qué bueno. Pásamela. Pásamelo. Solamente un bote. Solamente tenemos una persona acá que ha ido a Santo o a la República Dominicana, ¿verdad? Muchas gracias. Y diré que es mi acento como muy neutral. Tu amor por la RD. Sí, RD como tiene un espacio en mi corazón, en verdad. I fell in love with the Dominican Republic the first time that I went. And that's why I went back. There's just some, como, no sé, es algo sobre la vida ahí, cómo se vive ahí, su cultura y todo eso. Es algo diferente. La verdad, ¿cuántas veces, con tanta frecuencia, visitas ahí? Yeah, I know multiple people who have visited there, and yeah, they definitely like go back. Okay, Colette says, no recuerdo, 2 o 3 meses he olvidado. Ah, qué bueno. Pero muchas gracias por ver mis videos y también muchas gracias por estar aquí. Thanks for coming here, and thanks for participating in the chat here, because I love having conversations with y'all. Oh yeah, something kind of crazy that happened. I'm gonna say this here. Sí, yo debería contar esa historia. So when I first got to the airport in DR, someone asked me basically to marry them. That was interesting. That has never happened to me before. So yeah, that was a new experience. Pero solo por negocio, no por amor. That's what she said to me. Yeah, Dominicans are something else sometimes. So, but I had to reject. I said no. Maybe later, basically. But at first, I didn't know what she was saying. 3 proposals. Dominicans como son muy. Well, in this case, it wasn't really for love. It was for business, as in like whatever. I guess to come here and get like a visa or something. I don't know. I don't really ask too many questions, but I literally got to. It was right before I exited the airport is what had happened. I was at, what is it called? Immigration. So like the last step before leaving the U.S. Oh no, not leaving this. Before leaving the airport, this one woman was asking me. I forgot exactly what she asked me. She was like, oh yeah, como like, yo quiero ir a los Estados Unidos. Miro a mi pasaporte. Mi pasaporte es como de los Estados Unidos. Y me dijo que, sí, yo quiero visitar los Estados Unidos. Oh, ok, qué bueno, no hay nada de eso, qué bueno, me encanta. Ojalá que sí, ojalá que podrías irte ahí un día. But then she like said it like a few times, and then after that, she asked me something. I can't remember. But then and I was like, I don't know what you're saying. Como no te entiendo. And then her coworker came over, and then she was like, oh, she's asking you to like get married and go to the U.S. Oh, and then before that, she was like, oh, solo por negocio, no por amor. And then I was like, I understand that part, but I didn't say what she said before that. But basically, yeah, like getting married for business and not for love. So that's my little. That was my first introduction to the Dominican Republic. I was like, wow, this is interesting. I mean, I feel very flattered, but I have to reject this request because I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I just got here. Like, give me some time. Like, maybe at the end of my trip, like maybe it'll be a yes. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, depende de la persona, yo no voy a rechazar las ideas de las otras personas o sus gustos. Hey, es su vida, pero para mí es otra cosita. Solamente por negocio, no por el amor, no por el amor. No se casen por el amor, solo por negocio. So that was interesting. That was like the first crazy thing that happened. Okay. Déjame ver. You should talk to Blingway blogs. Yeah, I watch. Cedar says that. I watch his videos a lot. I mean, he's one of the first like Spanish YouTubers or YouTubers that talk about Spanish and stuff like that that I've ever watched on YouTube actually. So I think I started watching his stuff in like 2020 or something like that. So I've watched a lot of his content. Hay otro afroamericano como yo que también tiene un canal. He just started making videos, I think 2 years ago. He hasn't been on it for too long. His name and his channel is called Jerry Register, and I've actually met him recently. So that's actually kind of cool to see like another YouTuber who's also in the language learning niche. So that was pretty awesome. Claro, sí, yeah, he sings. He does sing. You've had 3 proposals, but I'm not an American citizen. That says have an American accent. If you bring someone to the U.S., you're financially responsible for them. I'm married not. Para mí me gusta. Después traduzco a todo español para practicar vocabularios. También, yo también. Yeah, like translating is really good. I'm actually doing that for French as well. For French and Spanish, like trying to translate back and forth between the languages. That was really fun. That's really fun, but it's also very difficult because I don't have like a large vocabulary yet with French. Pero todo pasa en la República Dominicana. Todo pasa ahí. Que lo hizo este. ¡Ey! ¿Verdad? No me digas eso. Coleco es, yo tengo una prima que lo hizo este. Ella casó un hombre de Jamaica por dinero. Ay, Dios. Y te voy a decir la verdad. No te voy a mentir. I never really heard about these relationships before I went to the DR. I was super ignorant that all this stuff was happening around me. But yeah, there's definitely, that stuff is happening. Como eso es la vaina. Esto ahí es una vaina. Eso es la vida real. Como la gente se casa así, solamente por el negocio, pero no por el amor. solamente para recibir dinero, para recibir, beneficios. Solo eso, para sacar el beneficio de toda la vida. Watch 90 Day Fiance. See, I mean, 90 Day Fiance, that's, that's a little bit different. You know what I mean? At least they give you 90 days, but like in other relationships, they might not be like that. They can be a lot shorter than 90 days. It can be like, hey, yeah, you want to get married? It's like, yes. You want to like go to this country or this country? It's like, yeah, let's do it. It can be a lot faster than 90 days. But yeah, that's a whole different like topic right there. It's wild. There are two Dominican guys and they both married girls in GA. Yeah, sí, se pasa. I mean, I know dominicano que vive en los Estados Unidos que también que se casó con una canadiense, algo así. And then as well, when I went to the Dominican Republic the second time, I met a woman who was actually married. She's actually from Canada too. She's from Canada and she married a Dominican man. And that's where I actually had my Airbnb at. So, I mean, it was crazy because she sounded exactly like a Dominican. I mean, you could tell she was a Dominican, but she sounded exactly like a Dominican because she's been living there for like probably 5 years. So, yeah, it was wild. American Boy. Yeah. I watched some of his stuff too. He's pretty big. Or his channel is pretty big. He's like one of the, probably one of the biggest like Spanish ones, huh? Como canales que tengo una muy gran audiencia, algo así. One of my friends knows he worked at the Hard Rock. I don't know what the Hard Rock, the hotel in Punta Cana. Esta vaina loca ahí. Es una locura. Las cosas que pasan ahí. Es increíble, en verdad. Qué loco. Did I already talk about how expensive if you wanted to get like a COVID test there, you had to spend some money. Because I went there last year, so you could only fly in and stay there if you had like a negative PCR test or your vaccine card, right? But the thing with the test, you could only take like the PCR. The PCR test, though, guess what? It was more expensive. It was more expensive than the antigen test. For whatever reason, they wouldn't like accept that one. So I thought that was very interesting. But then I started talking to more Dominicans, and I realized that you could actually get a PCR test for free. And I was like, oh, that's the benefit of learning Spanish right there. You actually get to pay for things a lot less. Claro que sí, un mundo poquito. Pero toda la vaina con la toque de queda. Ay, Dios mío. Uf. Eso fue difícil. I had to that was kind of hard. Because I couldn't go anywhere at night. Bueno, no tienes que esperar en un hospital. Solamente tienes que irte a un laboratorio. So if you go, you don't have to go to a hospital. You can go to, they call them laboratories or laboratorio. There's people who go and wait for whatever. But yeah, they made a lot of money off of people. Whoever was getting like a PCR test there and they didn't speak Spanish, and I say that not speak Spanish, but like they didn't speak Spanish, be able to like talk with someone to ask them, where can I get this free? They're making a lot of money because I think the PCR test, like they were more than like $50. Yeah, out of the tourists. So it was a lot of money. I was like, man, they're making that's USD too. Come on, dólares. No peso dominicano. Eso no fue el peso dominicano. Eso fue dólares. They have free healthcare like in England. Oh, okay. Yeah, so no, it was all that kind of stuff is interesting. But yeah, I didn't know any I didn't know anything about music there. I didn't know anything before I went. Before last June, I didn't know anything about the music there. I didn't know anything about the food there. I didn't know anything about how they spoke there. So it was like a huge culture shock for me. The weather too. The weather's pretty hot. Very humid as well. The food is different. I thought I was going to go there. It's going to be like Mexico. It's not like Mexico. The food there is like completely different from Mexico. No es como tacos y chilequiles y como guacamole y mole. No, nada de eso. O qué más, como barritos, chalupa, qué más. Sí, todo ese tipo de comida, nada. No estuvo ahí. Solamente como, bueno, habichuelas por lo menos, habichuelas, arroz, papa, ensalada, también, ¿qué más? Pescado. El pescado ahí, estuvo bien rica ahí. Y también el plátano con salami, el plátano con salami y cebolla. El plátano viene con cada plato básicamente. Oh, ella dijo que no. Ay, Dios mío. Pero qué sé yo. No es mi vida. Oh, se me olvidó, mi gente, yuca. I want you to look up la yuca. La yuca is like probably like one of the best food items that I had there. La yuca. Oh, it is so good. Never knew it existed. Never knew it existed until last year either. I learned a lot of stuff there. La yuca. Yuca is really good. También pica pollo. Pica pollo is like it's almost like a KFC. Nah, I don't want to say like KFC. They have like limited options. Pica pollo. What do they have? I think they had fried chicken, pollo frito con papa y tostones. So plátano, so plantains. They have plantains there. They have papa, como papa frita, French fries, and fried chicken, like really cheap, just like fast food. And they had pica pollo like everywhere. And there's a lot of jokes about pica pollo también for whatever reason. Pero pica pollo, that's what it is. Pica pollo. I say it's not like Popeyes or KFC because they don't have like all those extra items like biscuits. From what I remember, like biscuits or coleslaw or gravy. It's not like that. They just have como tostones. Let's see here. American Boy también, Punta Cana, Mundo Poquito, claro. Pero mucha la gente lo hará para broma si estás un extranjero, claro. Sarita says you have to wait to the hospital, out of tourists, they have free healthcare. The guy from Jamaica came to the States, did very well, worked, bought a house, and wanted to stay married, but she said, no, give me my money. Pero, ¿cómo respondió este hombre de Jamaica? Chimichanga. Because like he would have to say yes, right? Like she can just say I want to get a divorce, but he says no. Como en un corte, como tiene que tener dos personas que corresponden, ay Dios, corresponder, algo así, corresponder con los papeles, ¿verdad? Mofongo. I've had mofongo once, I think. Yeah, I had mofongo once. I never had motofongo though. I have not had motofongo. I've had la bandera. I've had la bandera de. Es más es más claro, es más puertorriqueño, pero también yo he comido, yo he probado ahí en la República Dominicana. Entonces, como se puede alcanzar esa comida también ahí. Tenía un poco de todo. Puertorriqueño, porque en los Estados Unidos, déjame ver. El Mituri de ITALKI Santo Domingo, él es cantante también. Oh, he sings too? Actually, you know what I plan on buying? What I plan on buying soon is, I actually don't know what the instrument is called in Spanish. But it's like silver, and you get like a little stick or whatever, and then like you rub on the instrument that makes that sound, and then you can also like tap on it. I plan on buying one of those, like, for fun. I plan on buying that, and I also plan on buying a cowbell as well, so I can dance and play an instrument to bachata music just for fun. But we'll see. We'll see. I have to figure out where I can buy one of those. I wonder if I can buy one on Amazon. Porque en los Estados Unidos PCR cuesta mucho. La guerra. Ok. Tú sabes todo. Tú sabes todo. La guira. La guira. Yeah, so I want to buy one of those because, like, I'm obsessed with bachata music now. But last year I didn't know anything. Well, so yeah, so my first trip I didn't know anything about merengue. I didn't know anything about bachata. And then my second trip I knew a little bit more about bachata, but not that much. So I was still learning about it and like the music industry and stuff like that there. I didn't even know merengue existed literally until the beginning of this year. So I didn't even know what merengue was until this year, which is kind of embarrassing because I was in the DR. Juan Luis Guerra, no estoy seguro. Déjame buscar su nombre. Deben buscarlo, no estoy seguro. No me suena. No me suena su nombre. ¿Te gusta? Juan Luis. Juan Luis Guerra. Debe de una de sus canciones. Patata Rosa. Burbujas de amor. Me encanta el título de esta canción. Muy famoso ahí. Ok, no me suena. Entre mar y palmeras, qué romántico. Ok. Bachata Rosa. Carta de amor. No, I've never heard of him before. But, or maybe I have, but yeah, there's a lot of artists I don't know the names of, but I probably heard their songs before. Ojalá que hueva cabe. Eso está duro también. I like so for bachateros, I don't like Prince Royce. Oh, so like RD. Okay. Prince Royce, for whatever reason, I'm not a fan of him. No soy fan de ello. He has a song called Guagua. Oh, okay. El de Nueva York. Okay. For bachateros, I like Luis Miguel de Amargue. He has a lot. He like his songs. They're very story like. So he has a lot of canciones sobre historias. Si yo sé, sí, Romeo, claro. Romeo también Extreme. Yo creo que Extreme is from that group. Although those two guys are from New York too. And then I know he's not a bachatero, but he's un salsero, and I'm absolutely obsessed with Mark Anthony. Not in a weird way or anything like that, but I love his music. I love Mark Anthony. Un tesoro de los Estados Unidos. Para bachateros, I like Luis Miguel de Amargue, but some of his songs are really, really messed up. By really messed up, I mean they tell a story of something of like of an event, very, very graphic, and just very messed up overall. That's kind of what I can say. But the music sounds really good, so that's what you have to be very careful about when it comes to like to music in Spanish music. It can sound like really good, and you want to dance to it, but then if you actually listen to the story behind them, some of them are like really terrible, like beyond terrible. They have the sad songs. Oh, it's really interesting. It's good to know. I'm going to write down his name. Pero Luis Miguel de Amargue. Then I like Zacarias Ferreira. Zacarias Ferreira. I like Alex Bueno, but Alex Bueno, I think he's más merengue. For me, I like sometimes when we get to like the 90s, like the early 2000s and the 90s, I can't tell like if it's bachata and I can't tell if it's like merengue. I still get confused on that sometimes. Well, I think Alex Bueno's un bachatero. I don't know if he's merengue. Everybody's everybody. Todas las personas que están aquí. All right, let me know in the chat if you listen to bachata music, and if you do, let me know. I don't have HBO, no. And let me know if you listen to bachata music. If you do, let me know who is your favorite artist. Who is your favorite bachatero, or who is your favorite bachatera? Porque we're not gonna forget about the ladies. We're not gonna forget about the lady bachateras tampoco. Bachata was born in the poor part of the DR and outlawed by the ruler. They're the sad songs. Sarita says Juan Luis Guerra has a song called Vida para un sueño. Déjame saber en el chat. Déjame saber. Yo quiero saber de tus gustos. ¿Te gusta la bachata? Do you like bachata? Do you know what bachata is? Maybe we should start with that. Do you know what la bachata is? Because I sure didn't a year ago. And I'm so angry right now because I didn't dance in the Dominican Republic, not once. Even though at least like there wasn't a toque de queda, there wasn't a curfew the second time that I went. There wasn't a curfew the second. Well, hold on a second. I don't think there was a curfew the second time that I went. They still had restrictions. Yeah. So they still had restrictions, but yeah, they just released the toque de queda like when I got there, I believe. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't dance there, but I never danced until like recently, until like a few months ago. But I wish I went to like a discoteca when I was there. Dancing in the Dominican Republic, dancing la bachata como en el centro, en el corazón de la República Dominicana. That would have been amazing. Nadie sabe qué la bachata. What's like a good introduction? Es muy sexual. Bueno, es romántico, mira, es romántica, es un género muy romántico, yo diría. Es sexual a veces y también es romántico, más romántico que sexual. Dancing bachata is like very como pegado. And that's also what they do in the Dominican Republic. They cut off like ado. So instead of like estado, it'd be like estado. Or instead of like pegado, how do I put this? Well, yeah, like in dancing, it's just like pegado, pegado, bien pegado. They'll say like bien pegado. So they'll cut off like the ADO and then just say pegado. And they change the ending and they put AO, pegado. Pegado. Está pegado. Tú sabes pegar. See, like, por eso, like, I didn't understand them. I'm like, what do you, like, what? I don't understand, like, your Spanish. It's just too hard. It was a complete mind shift change. Like, none of the Spanish that I had before, I thought, like, really helped that much. Pegar es jerga por joder. Bueno, sí, claro. But I'm talking about, like, como le digo. But I'm talking about like in dance though. I'm not talking about like that. Como en ese contexto me refiero a bailar y no solamente como en la cama. Pero sí. Sí, pero la bachata es algo duro. La bachata es dura. The way that you dance it is really interesting. para decirlo menos. Like, it's really fun though. The music is fun and bachata is fun, and it's really different. What I like about bachata is different. It's really different from merengue. It's different from merengue. It's different from la salsa. So it has its own it has its own style. Como tiene su propio estilo que me encanta muchísimo. Es excelente. I like la salsa también. I like la salsa, and I like bachata. Y merengue. Y el merengue también. Es una historia. Ok. Sí, irónicamente, esas canciones sobre son rompe corazones. Claro que sí. Con ritmo perfecto, claro. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say like the songs. I mean, bachata, merengue. I mean, even songs like in the U.S. too. Like, everything's about heartbreak. Everything's about heartbreak, or everything's about like you're about to get heartbroken, you're in the middle of getting heartbroken, or you're thinking about when you got heartbroken. That's how a lot of songs are. I mean, R&B, for example, like R&B in the U.S. R&B is like, it's literally all about it's all about love and, yeah, relationships and stuff like that. But like, como la misma cosita. La misma cosita con la bachata, la salsa. there's this one line in this one song. It's like, te rodillas, te pido. Como, te pido. Yeah. De rodillas te pido. Algo así. So like, from my knees, I like ask you. It's hilarious. Like, I love listening to like the Spanish music like that. It's hilarious. I mean, it's sad, but it's also really funny. Oh, come on, yeah. De rodillas, te pido, te ruego, te digo, que regresas conmigo. Like, on my knees, I ask you, I beg you to get back with me. Very dramatic. What's up? What about the dedo? What do you say, Sarita? Claro que sí, yo conozco Romeo Santos, claro. Porquería, claro, sí. Vas a escuchar mucho a la palabra porquería. That's a very, yeah. I mean, como se puede ser como una palabra muy grosera también. He calls the girl's boyfriend him, porquería. I haven't seen that documentary before. Romeo Santos, King of Bachata. I haven't seen that before. Romeo Santos, his songs are very borderline, sospechosa. Some of the words that he uses, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have said that. There's just one song actually that highlights that very well. It's called La Propuesta Indecente. I mean, just like in the title, it's just like, dude, like, why you having a song like this before? So that one's, yeah, the lyrics in this song are a little sospechosa. Propuesta indecente. Romeo, his songs are wild. La propuesta indecente. Like, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say them right now. That's kind of how yeah, a little touchy they are to be parece la verdad. So yeah, I haven't seen the documentary. Si yo conozco a Bandura bien. I don't like. No, I would say like my favorite song is actually from the first album. La Novelita. That's my favorite song. La Novelita. Oh yeah. Before I forget, make sure you check out the description box as well for some Spanish resources. Like I have a dictionary. I don't have my phrase book, but I'll put that in there as well. So I have like a Spanish dictionary, Spanish verb book, and then a few other short stories as well. In case you like to read and things like that, you can check those out. The links in the description box as well. If you like to support this channel, if you like my videos and things like that, I created a buy me a coffee page, and you can donate con dinero, and that's also también en la caja de descripción, el enlace. The link is in the description for that as well. It's under, I think it says under support my content. You can go to my buy me a coffee page right there and donate si quieres. Si puede donar si quieres. So Sarita says in his documentary Utopia, he brings out all the famous bachateros and sings with them. Oh, I have not seen it before. I gotta watch that. But yeah, sí, básicamente la República Dominicana cambió mi vida. Claro que sí, sin duda. Going there definitely changed my life again. Going to Mexico changed my life, and then going to the Dominican Republic changed my life again. So like I keep having my life change every time I go to like a different country. So it's kind of interesting. I met a decent amount of people, thankfully. I could have met a lot more, but like I said beforehand, like kind of during this live stream, I've had a lot of fear when I was there, because it was so hard for me to communicate with people, because just trying to understand them, trying to comprehend them, but then also trying to speak as well. I felt like I couldn't speak at the same pace of them whatsoever because they spoke really fast. So I felt really embarrassed. I had a lot of insecurities. So I kind of evaded people a lot. Like sometimes, literally, like some dude be like on the street, but like he'd be like, "Get okay, blah 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 blah," like say all the stuff to me. I'm like, I have no idea what you just said, and I'd be like, "Okay," and then he would repeat something, and they'd say like the same exact thing. I'm like, man, I don't know what you just said. So I kind of like kept walking. Happened so many times. So difficult for me to understand. I'm like, can y'all like just come on, habla un poco más despacio, por favor, un poquito más, por favor. And then the other hard part, correcto, tengo que salir, voy a cocinar ahora cuando. Ok, muchas gracias por venir. Ha sido un placer platicar contigo, con usted. Muchas gracias. Y espero que también tu comida te sale bien, te queda bien. Thanks for coming. I hope your food is going to be amazing. Hopefully so. Try out some tostones in the future. Y Sarita, yo fui a Guadalajara. En 2019 yo fui a Guadalajara, México, en el estado de Jalisco. Y también, además, yo tengo que cerrar, o no sé cómo, terminar este live stream también como muy pronto. Yeah, I'll be ending this live stream fairly soon, probably like 5-10 minutes as well. Porque me tengo que ir, which is also a really fun part of a song that I like as well. If I ever say anything in Spanish, just like imagine that I'm singing a song, and more than likely I'm saying some form of like lyric from a particular song. Usually I like to talk. I like to sing. I like to sing when I talk. Claro que sí. But yeah, let me know unas preguntas que tienes. If you have any questions about traveling to the Dominican Republic, if you have any questions about the country, let me know in the chat here, and I will try to answer your question, porque yo no soy experto de todo lo que tiene que ver con este país, pero te podría ayudar un poquito, ojalá. Places to go to Tres Ojos, go to Maricón en Santo Domingo, específicamente en Santo Domingo, go to Maricón. they actually have some really beautiful malls that I would have never imagined, like really big and modern malls, uh, centros in Santo Domingo, Malecón. They have some really cool plazas también, really cool plazas. Oh yeah, okay. En el centro, they got Agora is a really big and modern mall. Agora, Sambil. There goes another one. Those are the main ones. The other one's like a number. It's like 429 or something like that. I can't remember. Agora, Sambil. They have a teleférico, where it's like a cable car that takes you across. Not like under the whole city, but it takes you across like a part of the city. Across, you go over like a river and things like that. I think it's a river or a lake, whatever it is, a stream. Teleférico. They actually have a fairly robust train system that I also didn't know they had. Train or subway, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how to say it. Pico Duarte, yeah, I need to go there. I haven't been there yet. Teleférico, oh yeah, la zona colonial. I mean, wherever there, that's a big attraction spot. La zona colonial. Let's see what else. Some other place that I went to. La zona colonial. There's one amazing park, like a really big park. Mirador de Sur. Mirador, a beautiful park, and it's a park, but it's like extremely long. It's not just like really small. It's extremely long. Mirador de Sur. I think there's also a Mirador de Norte, yo creo, but I've never been there before. Yeah, Maricon. Where else did I go? I went to a lot of like small, like centros también, like smaller markets as well. I'm trying to think where else. Yeah, I didn't go to any discotecas. I didn't go to any discotecas when I was in DR. Por la pandemia, como todo eso, como todo está cerrado. Like you couldn't really go anywhere after whatever it was, like 7 or after like 8 p.m. Like whenever the toca de queda started. So like the first trip I went there, I didn't really go out. I was just at my hotel, whatever 8-9 p.m. because everything was closed, which wasn't a bad thing. I mean, I knew kind of the whatever, not necessarily like the risk, but like the regulations in place and things like that. So I mean, I went because I wanted to go and experience it, and it was still a good experience regardless, even if I couldn't be out all night long. So it was still amazing. I made sure I woke up really early in the morning so I could travel as much as I could before the toque de queda started. I'm trying to remember. Puerto Plata. I planned on going there. My second trip, I was going to go there, and then I decided not to go. I went to Samana, my second trip, and Samana is really beautiful. I really love Samana. I love the people there as well. Very small. It's like almost like a small town. Like everybody knew everybody. I love Samana. And yeah, but Santo Domingo has my heart because like there's just so many different parts of the city. Like it's just so different everywhere. It's very diverse. I loved it a lot. Santo Domingo, I said, it has like poorer places, it has more modern, more richer places. Of course, the beach and everything like that. Oh yeah, I went to Boca. Oh yeah, Boca Chica. I forgot about that. Because it goes to Haiti. Okay. I went to Boca Chica. Boca Chica is a fairly famous beach there, and you will hear this word a lot in a lot of Dominican songs as well. A lot of bachata songs, and also I think merengue too. Boca Chica. Oh, and also comedians. You hear comedians talk about it. Dominican comedians talk about Boca Chica. I love the name too, Boca Chica. Boca Chica. So I went there. I didn't like. It was all right. No, yo no sé la historia. Ay, Dios. Mira la hora. Son las 5. Son las 5:20 para aquí. Senki Penki, claro. Yo sé Senki Penki. Yo conozco de Senki Penki. Está cerrado. Apertura bandera. Oh. Se me olvidó los otros lugares. Mira, del Sur. I just did like a lot of walking around mostly. Like I love walking around when I go to different places. Just walking around, going to different markets, going to different restaurants. And I did take a lot of like motoconchos, which like little bikes and things like that. But I mostly did a lot of walking. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, especially like in Mexico or es es muy famoso para Senki Penki. Yeah, because like los motoconchos were really cheap there, so that's why I like taking them. But yeah, very dangerous and scary because people in the yard, they drive kind of however they want as well. Another amazing thing about the country. Pero llegamos al fin de esta live stream. Muchas gracias para cada quien que ha estado conmigo por todo este tiempo. Thanks for everyone for being a part of this live stream, participating in the chat. As usual, it's a pleasure. Es un placer para estar con ustedes, to be with y'all and have a nice little conversation. Talk a little bit about my experience and also learn about your experience as well, and hear about your journeys learning Spanish. That's what it's all about. Developing a nice little community where we can, share about our experiences and help each other out learn Spanish. That's what it's all about for me. That's what I want to do, with my channel and with the community and things like that. So thank you all for participating. Muchas gracias. And again, don't forget to check out the links in the description box of this video for some Spanish learning resources, if you would like, and then also donating as well. And for all those who are going to be watching this after the live stream, the replay, don't forget to comment in the comment section don't forget to comment below what you thought about the live stream, and also anything that you know about the Dominican Republic. Let me know as well if you have ever been to the Dominican Republic, and what do you like about the Dominican Republic as well. Entonces, again, otra vez, mil gracias otra vez por venir y nos vemos muy pronto. Cuídense. Adiós. Oh, I'm gonna forget one more thing. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Suscríbese y también comparte mi canal con todo el mundo. Subscribe to my channel and share my channel with your friends as well, like on your social media y cosas así. Toda esta vaina, ya tú sabes. Nos vemos muy pronto. Cuídense.